Once upon a time, hundreds of years, no, thousands of years, no, millions of years, no, billions of years, oh, trillions of years ago. Sorry, I lost count. Say, once upon a time, a point was placed in this beautiful yet very charismatic abyss. I mean, this is very hard to pronounce because it goes beyond my words and beyond my understanding itself. So the point was placed, and we don't even know when, not exactly, to be precise, but obviously it was placed. Now, there's this concept, a conceptual reality, if you want to present it that way. Because I've understood, now we humans have understood that the point was placed by someone who, no one knows who, the Holy Ghost, say the Father, there's different conceptual realities. So that's why I'm going to talk about a few of them in this particular video, because we'll have to understand how it came into existence, how it came into this specific order, very specific. Now, in general, when we talk about order and when we talk about laws and regulations and rules, it kind of escapes our understanding. It kind of it tends to travel beyond our imagination. It's a different topic altogether. Now, the point was placed. For example, this is a big bubble, a big bloody bubble, and you do not know where it ends. Now you don't know point A, you don't know point B, you don't know point X, Z, whatever. You don't know what dimension it is being created into, how many dimensions out there. You don't know nothing about it. So just understand, just imagine that a point was placed. A point, a simple dot. Everything starts from a minute cell, a dot, a point. Now this point tends to stay put, or it tends to travel somewhere, right? A force. Different theories. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, and different, space-time continuum by Stephen Hawking when he talks about fabric. So yeah, the point, it tends to travel. It goes from point A to point B. Now, the most important question, the universal question that every other scientist, every other theorist, every other philosopher, every other scholar has in mind is how? What's the nature of this point? How does it travel? Now, two different theories. It travels A, straight, or it displaces, or it goes into a parabolic or a hyperbolic. So the disturbances in the wavelength itself. What is a wave? The displacement itself is called a wave, or the distance, or say the speed of how it travels. So all of these physical terms can be complicated when put together, presented in a more philosophical manner. But obviously, if you want to understand wave and wavelengths, we'd have to go deep into the scientific discussion itself, and which is impossible in one particular video. But yes, the wavelength, it's kind of disturbed. So from point A to point B, the point itself traveled. Now this sounds very, I don't know, pointless, but obviously the point traveled at some point of time, right? See, wordplay, you got to understand the wordplay itself. Now the point, if traveled, it goes from point A to point B. It stops. And that's when the universes are created. Now, I'm talking about this big bloody bubble, which is called the multiverse. Now, multiverses. There's different understanding of these multiverse. So many people believe it to be occupied and it to be made or composed of different elements or different compounds, say, put together. Dark matter, living matter, organic, inorganic compounds. So in this particular video, I'm not going to go very deep into the chemical aspect of things, because chemistry is life. Biochemistry, when you be a bit more specific about it. But chemistry is life, and all the reactions and all the general things that's needed for human life to sustain, or a living compound to sustain, and that's how time is calculated. Now, time is not just calculated by chemical compounds, but it's also calculated by physical formulas that's been presented out there by science and its nature and its beautiful understanding about this whole universe. Maths, obviously, that's how time is calculated. We cannot go very deep into this topic because most of the people would tend to divert away from the understanding itself. It's a very, very complicated issue itself. Now, we all talk about points and we all talk about how life or living compound. Yes, it does not make sense. It does not really make sense. And not many people would like to understand how. Why should they? Because it's not their field. It's not their level of understanding. I don't know. It's not their thing. It's not their interest span. It's not theirs. But obviously, I wanted to talk a bit about science in this particular video. Obviously, it's about religion, but I wanted to talk about science, a bit about science in this particular video because so many people tend to contradict science and religion. They think that these are two different principles, these are two different elements, these are two different aspects of human evolution or human sustainable society, but obviously it's not. Science is the base of religion. That's how religion was formed. And in order to understand now, for me personally, I'm 25 years old. Definitely, I've studied science. I mean, I've understood the basic elements of science. I would not say that I'm a brilliant professor who knows it all. You know, I'm not a physicist. I'm not a biologist. Sad to say, but I'm nothing. I'm not a graduate. You know, I don't have a degree to be able to speak about these things, going out to deliver some lectures out there in some universities and stuff. I can't do that because I don't have that proper understanding of all these elemental aspects or prospects. But when you talk about, for me, I'm 25 years old, when you talk about science and religion, we'd have to understand that me in general would not be able to decode all these codes out there, all these, the chapters. I cannot read it, I cannot pronounce it, I cannot. But there were people out there, there were prophets, there were brilliant minds, there were brilliant discoveries by humans. And there were specific people, certified people, I would say, or selective group of people. Some of them, Moses, I don't know, Jesus, Muhammad, peace be upon him, if you want to say, present like this. I'm not making fun of it. I respect all religion. First things first, I respect all religion. I believe all these religions are out there for humans to understand the importance of life itself. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Religion is good. Definitely, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So yeah, for me, I'm 25 years old. I've only understood a bit about this whole religion business and whole scientific business. So I'm not stereotyping any other, don't boycott me for the fact that I'm going to speak about this thing. But definitely, when it comes to me understanding science and religion, I won't be able to comprehend or make you understand or make you comprehend the intensity of this matter, of the subject matter itself. So there were scriptures. I mean, there were people who wrote these scriptures or who assigned some people to write these scriptures, and they have these understanding. They know these things for a fact, and that's why they presented this in a more systematic manner, if you'd like to say that. Books, scriptures. So that's why I'm not going deep into scriptures itself. I'm not at all, because I do not know it all. So yeah, contradiction of science and religion. So I'm talking about this general aspect of how a human brain is calculating these things in this modern day time. I'm a modern person. I'd like to believe I'm a modern person. I'm living in Australia, definitely. I've been privileged with all these facilities and all these things, and I've been talking to people. I've been talking to different kinds of people. I've been exposed to different types of religions, different types of understanding, different types of belief system, different types of methods of understanding the universal factor, the life itself. So that's when I came to know that some things are different, but not most of them. Some things are different. Now I'll go into my history myself, because my understanding, I'm like a medium, so I'd have to make you understand the importance of these things through me, through myself, through my understanding of this whole universe. I come from a Hindu family. Now, Hinduism, I'd like to introduce Hinduism for a bit. Hinduism in general are people back in the days when they used to live across Indus Valley, Valley civilization. People introduced themselves as Hindus, or in general terms, because history is rewritten and repeated all the other time. So you'd have to understand that history is not the same anymore. Every other time it's mixed, a bit of spices. If you want to talk about spices, I love spices. I come from an Indian background, and I love these curries and different types. So yes, spices. And the universal truth about things goes, it's a correlation between different elements. It's a correlation between different aspects of different things. You cannot just understand one thing at once. If you want to isolate that particular thing, and if you want to study deep into that, nah, you cannot do that. You'd have to kind of correlate it with different principles and different aspects. That's how you understand it, because you'd have to correlate. That's how it's presented out there. So yes, I come from, so Hinduism, definitely on the other side of Indus Valley civilization, an isolated region from this part of the world, like Europe and Australia and all the other continents. But back in the days, it was introduced as Sanatan Dharma. Now, Sanatan Dharma comprises of different gods, different belief systems, multiple belief systems. We've got scriptures, definitely. We've got Vedas, Puranas. We've got obviously. I'm not going deep into religion, but obviously the understanding itself, because it's so deep. If I want to divert from one topic to another, I would have to keep it short. Yes, different scriptures. And Hinduism generally means that you have to respect all the other religion. In Hindu, in our culture, in my religion, I accept Hinduism for the fact that it's my core elemental principle that I've built my stance on. So yes, it teaches us to understand, respect all the other religions, to respect all the other gods. There are diversities, if you'd like to present it in that manner. There are diversities. Things change from period to period, from point A to point B, definitely talking about point itself. Now, things, yes, it diverts, but obviously it's up to you to understand what religion is and how religious you can be. So all the other religion, not just Hinduism, I would go into different religion one by one, but definitely with all the other religion, they all have the same principle: to respect all the other people, to respect human life, to respect the life in general, to respect the beauty of it. So yes, definitely Hinduism. So my core belief while growing up, yes, there were a few discrimination on the basis of how I was treated or how my caste system was introduced to me. Now in Hinduism, we've got these systems, these different layers and layers of truth. My parents, my grandparents, my ancestors. So I come from a very rural, I can say rural. I come from a very rural part of Nepal. My grandparents, they belong to Nepal and India, so we've got this mixed culture. So the communal understanding of Nepal and India, we share the same belief, not even different, same belief, like U.S. and Mexico, South Korea, North Korea, so many of them, France, Portugal, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, all these, Spain, France, and Portugal. So these are same belief, similar belief, same belief, different belief. It's different. And I know this sounds very confusing, because this is a complicated issue. This is a very confusing matter. And I won't be able to explain plain and simple to you guys, because I don't understand it simply. And I can't present it simply if I'm not being able to understand it simply. So yes, Hinduism, definitely my core belief. My parents, my grandparents, they belong to same group of understanding when the communal belief, definitely. So it is layered by castes and, you know, regional and ethnical. So we all understand these things, right? How it works, the food, the cuisine, the how, what to eat and what not to eat. So what does religion specifically make you believe? What to eat and what not to eat, how to pray and how not to pray, when to pray and when not to pray. So religion, you know, these core understanding of now, you know, monoethical, or say multi-ethical. Monotheism means believing in one God. Now it promotes monogamy, polygamy, or different conceptual beliefs that's been established over the period of time, tens of thousands of years back. It dates back to tens of thousands of years. Now we always have these debates on who came first, what religion was introduced first, and when it came into existence, and all these, you know, I don't know, trivial matters, very trivial matters. Explaining from my understanding, my religion was introduced, and we did have other religion as well in my community. We had Muslims, Islam, definitely one of the biggest religion out there. We had Christians, we had schools with Christian people, definitely one of the biggest religion out there. We had Buddhists. So Nepal is a secular country. I come from Nepal, if you did not know that. Our country is very secular, and obviously we respect all the other. So I'm talking in general. I'm talking about us all together, because I have to represent someone at some point of time. I can't be representing myself all the time. Yes, me as a Nepalese. So we respect all these other people. We respect all the other religions out there. We salute all of them for their understanding and for their commitment towards the human development. The human development when it comes to going together, the unity, the peace. Nepal being a secular country, it's more of Hindu dominant society where most of the people are Hindus, like 70%, 80% are Hindus. There's Hindu temples and stuff, because India and Nepal, we share the same history. So India and Nepal, definitely we do have these. So now Islam, I'd like to move to different religion that was. So Islam when was introduced to me. Yes, my parents were a bit skeptical about the religion itself, because they were not completely introduced to the aspect of Islam, to the nature of Islam. But now I respect, inshallah, I respect and I understand everything. Alhamdulillah for the fact that I do. So definitely, Islam, beautiful religion. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sallallahu sallam. I don't know how to spell it, but definitely how to pronounce it. So Prophet Muhammad gave all his understanding to his disciples and how they represented it. But yes, people diverted from point A to point B, because there's two different types of Muslims nowadays. And I don't know why they created it, because of the regime and because of the region that they were covering, and how they wanted to rule that particular region, and what belief they wanted to establish their belief system on. So then came extremism, then came radicalism, and all these other all the other principle diversion from one particular aspect. Now, the aspect of Islam is very clear. You pray, you eat, you pray. You sleep, you eat, you pray, you eat, you sleep, you pray, you repeat. Same thing goes to all the other cultures, all the other religion. My religion, you pray, you eat, you work, you sleep, you have fun. Christianity, you play, you eat, you sleep, you have fun again, you have fun and fun. Buddhism, you pray, you eat, you sleep. Very strict. Jainism, you pray, you help others. Sikhism. Different types of religion, different, just a simple difference can create a lot of diversion. Diversion is important. That's how society is created. That's how different people are created. Not a single religion would teach you otherwise. They would all teach you to pray, Definitely to pray. First things first is to pray. To believe. To be a believer, you have to understand that there is a supreme being out there. There is someone taking care of you. If you do not believe in this fact, then you're not believing anything. You should believe and you should trust in that supreme being to be taking care of you all the time. That's what belief is. That's what believing means. God, Allah, Bhagwan, all these other now simple understanding. Definitely there's thousands of religion out there. I'm not saying hundreds of religion out there. I'm not pronouncing all the other names, but definitely all these other supreme being out there. So according to Hinduism, we've got 3 different gods. We've got Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, the creator, the preserver, the destroyer. And it's a cycle, definitely. So creator creates, then preserver preserves, destroyer destroys, and then the creation is formed, it creates, and it's a cycle. It goes round and round and round and round and round. It's never ending. It doesn't stop, to be honest. It doesn't stop. That's why infinite possibilities of multiverses, and that's why science is related in this one. The scriptures itself, if you talk about scriptures, we've got, I'm forgetting, so we've got Stuti, we've got, so we've got Quran, we've got the Holy Quran, the Holy Bible, we've got Tripitak, we've got our Puranas, the Mahabharata, Gita, Ramayana, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, so many scriptures out there. I cannot name all of them because I do not want to. Why should I? Who is going to read all of them? Are you going to read all of them? Like 20s of scriptures? Yes, if you want to, feel free to. I'm not stopping anyone from reading them all. I'm not a theologist. I'm not going to study them all. I do understand that for me to be able to be satisfied with my understanding would be not to force someone to understand what I understand. If you understand that thing, feel free to understand that thing. But do not contradict yourself on the basis of what you've understood. And do not be radical about it. Do not go extreme in your sense of understanding because it does not lead you anywhere. It doesn't. In my country, Nepal, we had Islam, and my parents, we were skeptical about the fact that Islam was out there, and my parents used to stop me from or prevent me from going to or say that because they knew it's a strong religion, and there comes the diversion. So we know what's creating this. We know what's creating the difference between two different, multiple different organizations or people out there or religions out there. The skepticism is something which isolates you. It's a poison. It's a slow poison. Procrastination definitely comes from skepticism. You procrastinate because you don't want to do that thing because knowing the outcome of that thing would be painful, and you want to avoid pain. It's a cycle. If you want to accept the pain, you're accepting happiness. You're accepting the outcome, the opposite side of it. Inevitably, you cannot stop that from happening. And I cannot stress too much about these philosophical ideas, which I have understood, because I cannot. It just sounds big and it sounds very complicated. So I was, my parents. So these two religions were out there, was, kind of exposed to me from very early childhood. My friends were Muslims, and I used to love their ideas. I used to go to my Muhammad Mustaq Mikrani. He still is a good friend of mine. I used to go to his house to eat iftar in Ramadan. My parents did not know that, but still I used to go and enjoy the feast, the beautiful feast. Now, I do not want to go much into details about how religion was created and who created it and how. But yes, I've shared a bit of information about those things. But obviously, I would love to go into solutions and how it can be treated, how it can be cured, or how things can be solved, resolved, if you would like to present it that way. So yes, my history, how I was introduced to I come from Hindu, definitely, you know it all. Everything comes to a halt. Everything comes to stop at a point where food is introduced. Now, food is the basic element, it's the elementary source of our organic compounds. You know, all the oxidization and all the other processes that happens inside our body all the time. It's a non-stop, it's an unstoppable machine going on and on and on. We need food, it's our fuel, it's carbon, definitely, fuel. See, wordplay, chemistry, relating things. So yeah, food is essential. We need food. Now, what food to eat? I mentioned this point from my early understanding of this subject matter. What to eat? Now, there's these specific set of instructions in all the other scriptures, not just one, all the other scriptures. They would prevent you from eating something. Some religion, they allow you to eat anything. Who cares? Eating. Now, this is the most complicated issue. I've not been able to solve this at all. I do not know how to solve this. And should I be able to solve this? I don't know. Am I responsible to solve this? I don't know. Is someone responsible to solve this? I don't know. Maybe. Food. Very, very complicated issue. When I grew up, my grandparents, they did not like the idea. They despised the idea of non-vegetarian diet. They would hate the fact that people eat meat because they found cruelty in these behaviors. My parents, despite all the understanding of our religion itself, diverted from the fact because we accepted this modern day lifestyle. My parents, I'm not blaming them at all because I am accepting that lifestyle myself. So I'm not blaming my parents, I'm not blaming my grandparents, I'm not blaming my religion itself. I'm blaming the evolutionary scale or the pace of evolution itself. The pace. It's a rapid progress. It's a remarkably fast-paced development. And I talked about this in my previous videos, but no one gives up about that. But definitely food, complicated issue. Why? Specific instructions from all these religions about what to eat and what not to eat. In Islam, for example, haram and halal. Haram and halal. What's haram and what's halal? Halal means something that's instructed by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Haram means something that's not been instructed by Prophet Muhammad. Created diversions. That created everything. When someone, now your core belief in what to eat, because it's now understand this thing, it's a mathematical routine. A rotation. Every other religion would talk about rotation and revolution and how these planets are formed and how there's multiverses and stars and all these astrological formulas and maths. Every other religion would talk about maths. So the simplest of math would come down to 24 hours lifespan. 24 hours in a day. You know what to eat, you know when to sleep, you know when to do what. You know for a fact because you predict this near future. Future perfect grammar. You're living in your present, the simple present. You've got this present perfect, present participle. You've got this future, simple future, and all sorts of different near future and stuff. Tomorrow I'm going to play cricket from 9:30 to 12:30. I know this for a fact. Unless something extreme happens, like the weather. If it rains the whole night today, I won't be able to play tomorrow at all. Why? How? Because there's these grounds and stuff. I'm going to come home, return back from my game. I'm going to have a beautiful made prepared lunch. What to eat? That's when to eat and what to eat. Later in the day, I would eat something else. I've got my noodles, instant noodles and stuff. It's right there. I've got chocolates and stuff. And see what's on. See what I was eating? I was munching on these things because I like chocolates. Sometime during the day, I like a small bite of Mars or Snickers. It keeps me, because I'm staying home at the moment, so it gives me that energy. or my taste buds would react differently to this type of food because I'm used to it. My taste buds are used to, and how taste buds are formed, the residue of the same the food matter which kind of preserves in these taste buds, that's how it forms. That's how it's formed. You know, the compounds, it leaves a residue in there. The reaction is endless. It reacts for, say, 70 years, an average lifespan. Goes deep if you want to understand it. So yeah, that's how food was created and what treatment with. So this 24 hours span was, the set of instruction was given by so many scholars, prophets, scriptures, obviously. So the scriptures gave these instructions to many types of people. You know, there's classes and stuff. There's different types of people, obviously. Simplest of man, who does nothing for a living. In our religion, we've got beggars, we've got priests. I'm not saying beggars and priests separately, but these are they come together because they believe in God. They pray all the time, and that's how they go out and they want to adopt this lifestyle where they would go and enlighten themselves. And you know, the simplest of basic principles of their life would be to go and beg for food, because they do know that food controls it all. Who controls food? He controls it all. Now, the Supreme Being controls everything. The Supreme Being controls the one who controls the food which controls the human being. There's these layers of understanding. There's these layers presented to us and we don't even know how and when. And definitely food. 24 hours lifespan. Now there's people. Go to Vietnam, right? You go to America, come to Australia, you go to South Africa, you go to India. People, different physique. You go to Africa, you go to Antarctica, you go to Russia, and you go to Yakut, the coldest place on this planet, the coldest village on this planet. Physique, you know, I'm lean and skinny. See, I'm okay. I'm not saying I'm bad because I came to Australia. If I was in Nepal, I would still be the same because my genes would react differently to all types of food. Some food it would accept and some food it would reject. Definitely, I'm not saying that my body is mine supremely, because my gene must have been diverted from some other people and my food source would have been different back in the days when I was a different gene altogether. Different. Now, talk about genes itself, it's a different topic altogether. Genetic mutation and genetic engineering and stuff. Oh, science is beautiful. If you want to understand it, it's beautiful, beautiful, mashallah. Now, when it comes to this particular topic itself, 24 hours lifespan, and the scriptures, they give you these set of instructions where people would eat certain type of food. I'm not making a controversy. I'm not pinpointing or I'm not blaming. Yes, I'm not blaming any religion for what they have accepted so far. My religion, we prohibit the uses of meat. We treat cow as holy being. In some other religion, I'm living in a Christian, Muslim country with the most Christian and most Muslim population, and definitely Christians, they eat beef, cows. Muslims, they eat beef, cows. I do not loathe the fact that they eat beef because I eat goat. What's the difference between me and them? And I've questioned this same question forever in my life, I would say, until now. And I know for a fact that most of the people, they question the same. They have the same set of questions with Supreme Being, with God itself. Why am I eating this particular piece of thing? A piece of meat, I enjoy it sometimes because I'm hungry. My stomach, it needs something. It needs that fuel to burn my oxygen. The combustion inside my stomach, it releases, you know, ammonia, and it releases nitrogen and all the carbon dioxide, and it releases all this. So I don't know if this is something that I control and if this is something that I should be worried about. But yes, people, they fight upon this particular thing. They kill each other because they want to understand this so deeply and they want to control and manipulate this so deeply. Should I be doing that? No. Should you be doing? I don't think so. No. I don't think someone should be doing that. But obviously, yes. Now, 24 hours lifespan, people, they have these set of instruction. You go, there's food in Islam which is haram and halal. You go talk to an Islamic person who's deeply devoted to his religion. Ask him to eat something which is haram, like pork. He would definitely kill you someday if you would keep repeating that thing again and again. Is that his fault that he would kill you? Going to the extreme level of what do you call that? Level of outcome, level of result that he can produce, like killing you, definitely killing you, fucking stabbing you, maybe. Yeah. So he could, because his belief is strong. Are you questioning his belief? Should you be questioning his belief? No, I don't think so. Why should you? There's no point. Yes, food. Diversion was created when food was scarce. Now, how this was all created, I would go into how. Now, there's different geographical regions of this planet where people are sustained and people are kept together. Some people in Egypt, like I said, some people in Yakut, they would eat fish. In Egypt, they would sometimes eat camels and shit. Camels. In China, they would eat bat. Wuhan. COVID was created because they ate bat. Food, very complicated. Religion was introduced because food was scarce. It was scarce and people had to die for it. Hunger. And hunger is a very complicated issue. Oh, I'm hungry. I am hungry because I'm releasing my energy. So that's why I need something to recover my potential energy so that I can convert it into a kinetic sort of energy so that I can move and I can travel some distance. The science itself. So that's why religion is related to science, because it gave you the idea of food itself. Now, if you want to, sometimes in the future, if you want to neglect the fact that religion is not related to science itself, I don't know, go study more. Go enlighten yourself or go educate yourself. Religion is science. And the subject matter nowadays, because there's different subject matters and there's different professions and stuff, that's why it's diverted now. There's a disparity, I would say. So yeah, food scarce because it was scarce in some point of some period of some geographical region. And that's why they started to eat that particular being, for example. Is it bad? Okay, diverting for 5 minutes from religion, talking about veganism, talking about non-vegetarianism and vegetarianism. Very, very controversial topic. I should not be speaking about this at all, but obviously I am going to. Who is going to stop me from? Is it bad to eat meat? I don't know. Because I'm eating it. Am I guilty about the fact that I'm eating meat? Yes. Every other day. I'm guilty about the fact that I'm consuming something. Now, ecosystem and stuff. We'd have to, if you're talking about religion, we'd have to go into science. Every other video I'd make, I'd have to go into scientific aspect of it, because that's how people would be able to understand. Otherwise, there's no point at all. Ecosystem and stuff. Scarcity of food. We all know about butterfly effect and stuff. We all know how bees are responsible in pollination and stuff. How dispersion of seeds and vegetation is formed, and that's how people, say, vegan herbivores, how do you pronounce it? Herbivores, they would go and feed on those plants, grasses, and pandas would eat bamboos and munch on them. And tigers would feed on those goats. And then, the food cycle, the ecosystem itself. And we feed on all these other beings, and we are the biggest omnivorous out there. We feed on everything, definitely. Humans, that's how I think we've been able to, take control of all these matters. There's no supreme being out there on this planet manipulating the source other than humans. There's no supreme beings. Yes, there is a supreme being out there, like the air, the fire, the elements, the elements out there, you know, the water and fire and air. It's a different environmental factor. I don't know how to relate all these and put together into similar, simple words, but obviously it's hard. Am I trying? Definitely I'm trying. What do you expect out of me? I'm just 25. Just cut me a break. So I am trying, definitely. So yes, ecosystem is created. Now, sometimes if you think about rats and mice, and if you think about snakes, and if you think about all these general frogs feeding on insects and the ecosystem in general, should we be able to eat all these? I don't know for a fact. We're all wild beings, and the whole ecosystem is created because of the food chain that it has. Religion gave us these directions, but don't be extremist about the fact that you're not going to eat and someone's eating that and you're going to stop them from eating that. Do not create a ruckus about this particular fact that people are eating something. We're not people. Don't. I don't know how people. I should Google it someday. I don't know how people were given this name. People. We are beings. I don't know how being to be able to be. Words. I'm being able to understand, or I'm being able to explain all these things because the words were introduced. English was introduced. I'm speaking in a common tongue because I understand and I know these set of words that I can explain into or put my thoughts together. But if you want to read these thoughts, it would have been better if you could read my eyes itself. See? It's more clearer. It's more factual this way. It gives you more information about the world itself. My words, it wouldn't be able to comprehend the issue. You wouldn't be able to comprehend the issue itself, the matter itself. Food, veganism and non-vegetarian food stores itself. My comment on that particular matter would be, I do not want to complicate this thing at all. Because we don't know for a fact. If you would know, if we would have known, we would have solved this thing altogether. Feeding on, okay, we've got these debates out there. We've got feeding on plant-based food only. The production of these ecosystem would go 7 billion, 8 billion, 10 billion people would not be able to sustain their growth on this particular planet. So that's why they want to escape this planet and go to Mars or somewhere. Is this practical, going on Mars? Yes, why not? Because nothing is impractical. Nothing is impossible. But obviously it takes time. Time, the concept of time, theory of relativity, space-time continuum, going back to the general, going back to the basics. Yes, time can be reduced when speed is, it's indirectly proportional. When speed is, increased, time is reduced or something like that. Yes, so veganism and non-vegetarian diet, it's a different complicated issue altogether. Religion. Okay, I'd like to end this video in say 5 to 10 minutes because I had to speak about this in 40-50 minutes long video because I don't want to make it long. You have to just listen to me. I don't know, this is my video, I own it. Yeah, religion, Hinduism, major religions out there, Hinduism, Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Jainism. I'm sick of this, to be honest. We just want to live a very satisfied life. Humans, we humans. That's why I think it's very practical nowadays that if you go to different cities, like in Australia, 70% people are atheists. Go to France, 70% people. So these are the data that's presented out there on the internet. I'm not saying that I know for a fact that 70% people are atheists. I don't know. But yes, on the data itself, people are saying that people are claiming that they don't believe in someone who is supreme, who is bigger than us. People know for a fact that they don't want to believe in these things because they've been sick of it. Am I sick of it? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the understanding. I'm sick of people trying to, I'm sick of people trying to debate on this particular point. Go do something interesting. What's interesting? Going to Mars, maybe? It's interesting, isn't it? Traveling far, far away, but it's riskier. Adrenaline, the hormones that's presented out there, the reflex, the stimulus that's presented out there. That's the first reaction of a human, of a living creature. Now, would we be able to carry all these tigers and elephants out there on Mars? I don't know. Ecosystem, would we be able to sustain an ecosystem out there on Mars? I don't know. Science, it's complicated, but it can be solved. The possibilities, the predictabilities, predictable future can be outlined. It can be given. It can be written in a form. And it should be understood. It should be, discussed in a more authentic, in a more disciplined manner. Table talk. Be serious about it. Nah, don't be serious about it. Just fucking do this thing. Just understand it. Just Just be able to communicate. Just be able to live. Just be able to let others live. Just be able to be satisfied about what you do. Just be able to just be able to smile, laugh, and share this understanding. Relax. I'm speaking fast and speaking in general because you know that you should know deep down I'm a relaxed person. I relax because I know this thing for a fact. Religion, for me, now last bit about religion. Religion for me is a basic understanding about this principality of whole human emotion. The basic root of everything. The root cause for everything. Damages, destructions. Religion, extremism. Osama bin Laden. Ayatollah Khomeini. How many more names should I give? George Bush. All these people. Hitler, because he killed Jews and stuff. How many names should I give? History is complicated because of religion. Because of what you decided to eat and not to eat. Now, if I want to go into politics, if someone is listening and who is understanding, if someone out there is listening and understanding to what I'm trying to say, if I was a politician, I would stop this right now. It's not taking us anywhere. I know for a fact. Yes, and I know it's good. Somehow it's good, but somehow it's not. Rewrite the history in a more authentic and more... Give it time, definitely. This time zone is created, this timeline, the window is created because people have to be able to kind of relax on the basic understanding that they have. But take a bit more time to make it more authentic, to make it more understandable, to make it more valuable and reasonable to so many people out there. That's how diversions can be. That's how... I'm not saying we can solve this ultimately, but obviously... If we have to, if we ought to do things right. And how do we do things right? By being able to make other people believe that, yes, these things can be solved. Because people, they're not believing anymore. Religion, I wanted to talk about religion in this particular video because people are... Satanism and stuff, like this satanic... People are praying something, witchcrafting and stuff, black magic and dark matter and... Why are there two sides? You should be able to understand opposing nature can be clarified. And when it is clarified, it becomes more sensible. It makes more sense to so many people. So it's our responsibility to make other people understand what we've understood. If I've understood that religion, they're all the same and so just give up on the idea of making it extreme. I've seen Dr. Zakir Naik, I've seen, Shri, I don't know his name, Gopal Vinas or something. These people, they debate with each other and people, they follow them and their followers and their followers and they fight with each other and they're like, you moron, you talking about beef? You moron, you talking about not eating beef? This is a fight between these people. Are we going to stop these things? So I'm going to, I believe I'm going to live 70 years. 70 years because my Kundali said so. 81 years to be precise. I don't know. Even if I'm not going to live that far, I'd obviously be satisfied with the fact if religion, the issue related to religion is solved in this particular, my lifetime. I'll be more than happy. Am I responsible for this thing? If this is solved in this particular in my lifetime, I think I would be responsible. I think I was responsible. I don't know. Right, peace out. Be more religious. Do believe. I would say do believe in something. Because something has created this. We have to believe. I don't know if not to believe, what to do. I think we should be able to believe. Don't procrastinate, definitely. Don't just sit down and relax and, oh, this bulb is going to fly and levitate. No, don't do that thing. This makes your mind go wrong. You take all these other components inside your body and you kind of procrastinate. You just sit down and, what if the heater is going to levitate up in the air? Would I have some magical powers? That's cocaine talking. That's heroin talking. That's other compound inside your body. Now food also gives you these pleasures, but it's minimized. So yes, understand the quantity. Understand, I'm not saying don't do anything else. Obviously it's your body, do whatever you want. Just don't be extreme about the fact that you have something, you own something, right? This body is given by someone supreme. So believe in it and believe in making it good. Believe in making it more practical. Believe in making more peaceful, making more happier, making it more, relaxed and calm and composed. All right, thank you so much. Wait for my another video. Definitely do like and share and subscribe. If you're listening on YouTube or on Facebook, just make it available to other people. Do share your views, definitely. If you like my presentation, I'll definitely, do you think that I'm going to do this forever, sitting inside my room? No. If I've started to speak about it, I'll definitely continue in the later future. Obviously the method would change, but not me. I would, but not me. Thanks. Peace out.